What is our population of the jail that we have here right now?
The population, it'll house 362. That's
Okay.
including females and all inmates. And now I think there's maybe 30, and that'll vary in Guadalupe County. It's being housed there because of crowded conditions. So that can fluctuate. Depends on sentencing and how cases are disposed of.
So that's going to be one of the major issues that you're going to have to deal with then is...
That's a real major issue. If you interviewed all 254 county sheriffs in Texas, they'll tell you the jail's their biggest headache, because it is. I know like Dallas probably has 8,000 inmates in their jail, and I'm not sure Harris County, but it is a big issue because Hays County is tagged as maybe one of the top 15 fastest growing counties in the nation. It's like number 4 or 5 in the state of Texas, and with this growth, there's going to be a lot of good people move in here. But with the good, you're going to get some bad, and that's the ones you're going to have to deal with. And you've got to deal with that when it comes to the jail. Now, I'm very familiar with the study that the county had done, was the MGT study, really in-depth study of the jail. And it was a good study, and there's parts of it I really agree with, and there's parts of it I have concerns with. And that's the increase in inmate population, because if you followed last week, the week before last, all the mayors from Austin to San Antonio met along I-35, and their plans to turn this into metropolis up through here, and it's like Hays County's not in the middle, but right on the edge of it, So
you're just about halfway. I mean, you go
Yeah.
down here to Posey Road, you're halfway in between
Yeah.
San Antonio and Austin. So
it's going to be, there's going to be growth, and they're talking about bringing in professional sporting events and all that. Of course, I was at a meeting the other night concerning the Formula One in southeast Travis County. It is in Travis County, but will it bleed into growth issues in northeast Hays County? We don't know that yet, but if they pull these from Austin to San Antonio together along I-35, we can see it. When we first settled in Buda, we never thought there'd be an H-E-B there, much less a Cabela's or a Chili's, and that's all there now. And there's more growth coming, and so that's going to impact how you deal with law enforcement in Hays County.
well, and I think those are some of the things that are going to be. Part of that is going to be issues that we're going to have to settle in the county court, and that's also something to be asking. When you go to the debates and when you're looking at the people that are running for precinct 2, for precinct 4, when you look at and you talk to the candidates who are running for county judge, also it's not just the sheriff is going to be in control. He's going to be at the mercy of the court that is going to have to decide where the money's going to be allocated, and what the priorities are. So I think that's going to be really important for the people in these debates to speak up, and not just after election as well, going down to county court and also talking to their county commissioners and letting them know what the priorities are. Yeah, and that's one way, I guess, that people can get involved to help support. But are there some other? I know one of the things that we tried to do with this show is to look at positive ways that people can get involved. And I know that the Sheriff Bridges had the Brown Santa program, that he was everyone knew him for that. But what are some other things that we can do as citizens to help get involved with the Sheriff's Department?
Well, there's the Senior Citizen Academy, which is a great thing. It allows people to learn exactly what officers do every day, and a lot of people can read about it, they can watch it on TV, but actually when you go to a Citizen Academy and attend it, and it's a several-week course, and you leave there knowing what an officer does every day. And also the Sheriff's Office has reserve programs. This is going to have to do with commissioned personnel, and they'll do the same things that an officer does because they're commissioned. And but people that...
Is that kind of like the posse in the old days, in a way?
Well, you can, yes and no, because
Yeah.
the reserve program, these guys are trained.
Okay.
They know their job, where posse is a little bit different. They can go out and get in a patrol car and go do the same things a patrolman does. So, and that's a good thing.
Well, and that's good to have because one of the things with Hays County is that we're right now again in the middle of hurricane season, and at this time a few years back we had two major hurricanes that we had evacuees coming to the county, and from Katrina and from the other hurricane for Houston. I forgot that right now, but Ike, thank you, from our producer. And we have the influxes of people, so we do have to be ready for those things, for emergencies as well. So.
Right, and that's an excellent point you're making. There's not a doubt in my mind that. Go ahead and take the call.
Okay, I'll take caller. I'm going to let Gary finish his thought, and then we'll talk to you in just a second.
There's not a doubt in my mind that the men and women of the Hays County Sheriff's Department aren't ready for anything that would come after them tonight. But we've always got to start preparing for what's coming down the road. I mean, if a tornado ripped through here tonight, yes, they would be ready for it. But you've got to, with the growth and new subdivisions, new schools, new strip centers coming in, you've got to be prepared for what's coming after you tomorrow.
Good. Caller, you are live and speaking with Gary Cutler tonight on We the People on SMTX TV. And go ahead with, who am I talking with tonight?
My name is Jeff.
How are you doing tonight? And what question do you have for Gary Cutler this evening?
The sheriff's race here in San Marcos, what's the job security for the current deputies that are in office that are serving?
So what you'd like to know, what the current deputies, their job security, what kind of, how secure are they?
Yes, for employees that are...
Well, the officers are secure that work, and I know what question. I know where you're going about that. Once I would take office, what changes I would make for us personnel. These employees' jobs are secure. I want to press upon that to people, because I know, working at Travis County, I worked for 5 different sheriffs when I was there for 26 years. I know exactly where they're coming from on this. I want to assure them their jobs are secure.
Mm-hmm. Does that kind of answer your question, Jeff?
That answers. I appreciate it, sir.
All right. Thanks for calling in tonight. Appreciate you calling in and talking to Gary Cutler tonight. And any of the rest of you watching, please call in 512-754-0084. And we have probably about 5 more minutes here that we'll talk this evening and about Hays. And I let's go on back to, we were talking about the direction with the growth in the county. And this is really something I think that I keep hearing from people, is that we've got to start being more proactive in looking at that growth, because we can't run away from it. This county is doubling, basically in size every 10 years just about right now.
Oh, absolutely, and I think they're saying now that Texas State alone is like at 32,000. And that's just Texas State alone, right here in the center of the town of San Marcos.
How does Texas State fit in as affecting with the Sheriff's Department? And does that add a burden into the county jail? What's your feeling?
Well, of course, Texas State's got its own police department, which is a really good police department. And for the most part, those students are good at Texas State. But from time to time, you obviously may have an alcohol incident. I know it's been on the news here with the late hours that passed concerning the increase. Chief Williams discussed it just the last couple of days. So you will have a slight impact because of maybe some alcohol issues for an arrest or DWI, but for the most part, the students at Texas State are good students.
What's this is something, again, I was talking to someone the other night and talked about with Chief Williams, that San Marcos had the voters at the last election 2 years ago had approved us going to 2 hours later for the closing of the bars. That is kind of we're watching, the city council's looking and seeing the effects. And I've heard a few different things about that, there has been a slight increase. I mean, you're outside the Sheriff's Department, I understand, but do you want to talk about that at all?
Well, like I just mentioned, obviously with the increase in population, obviously with the late hours, there has been an increase. I don't know the exact percentage, but there has been an increase in public intoxication arrest and probably some DWI arrest. That may not have increased if the hours would have stayed. But on the other hand, the last thing people want is all these college kids on 6th Street up in Austin and driving down to here after they've had quite a bit to drink. Bad enough that they were driving here drinking, but to put them out on the interstate out there, because You hope they drink responsible, and parents
at least
raise
we're
them to drink
keeping-
responsible, but they are kids at times.
At least we're keeping it local, and we're trying to keep the highway safe.
Yeah, and you
so.
don't want to see anyone hurt, student, any innocent person hurt from a collision, and so you just gotta teach them and hope they drink responsibly.
Well, I had one of our guests we had on a couple of weeks back. We talked before the show here a little bit about Second Amendment rights, and I'd had C.B. Copeland was at a gun show up in Austin. I know it's not this county, but we had ATF agents that were there, and he talked about the situation where he's going to prison because he did not check the citizenship of a person that he was selling the gun to at the gun show. What are your feelings with Second Amendment rights and with protecting those for the citizens of Hays County?
Oh, I'd definitely go on record saying I'm probably one of the biggest person you've ever met in support of the Second Amendment of the United States. The way I see the Second Amendment is it was, I'm not a history person, but I know on December 15th, 1791 is when the 10th Amendment, the 10 Bill of Rights took place, 1 through 10 Amendment, the 10th Amendment. Well, the Second Amendment was approved then. Didn't have anything to do with Texas until 1845. That's when we fell under the Constitution. So the Second Amendment's been around since 1845, affecting Texas. And we've got lawmakers up in 11th and Congress, downtown Austin. And if we have an issue with the gun laws in our state, let's deal with it there. The Constitution said that we have the right to bear arms, keep and bear arms. They said that back in 1791, and let's let it stay right up here in Texas. If we got an issue, let's leave it right here in Texas and deal with it in Texas.
Okay. Well, we're coming down to the end of our time. Is there anything else that I didn't cover that you'd like to? I'll open it up for you around the coffee table discussion here.
Well, I'm glad you're doing this. First of all, people have got to take a part in their political process. We all go out, all the candidates, and campaign hard and meet people. But it all boils down to early voting October 18th or on November 2nd is to go to the polls and vote. So please, I ask people, please exercise your right to vote and go to the polls and vote for the candidate of your choice.
And on that note, I'm going to remind everyone, don't worry about zeroing in on this. This is your last chance is going to be October 4th. If you have moved into the county, you have changed your location, whatever the reason, even if you just question that, maybe they don't have my right information, you can go down and get the this at the county elections office. They are at the post office. They're down at the city hall, county courthouse. This is your last chance, because after October 4th, if you have, if you are registered outside of the county, you will not be able to vote and make the choices here in Hays. So.
Oh, please register and please vote.
Well, Gary Cutler, thank you very much for coming out this evening, and much appreciated. And